On October 21st, IBJ unveils the 2025 Women of Influence. Join us to celebrate Indy's most inspiring leaders and hear the powerful stories behind their success. Don't miss this moment. Register now at ibj.com/influence 2025.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Thursday, October 9th, 2025. I'm Alex Brown. From Princeton to Lafayette, international automakers are helping to drive the state's economy, according to a new report from Autos Drive America. The Washington D.C. based organization found that Honda, Subaru, and Toyota have invested $11.8 billion in Indiana and created more than 17,000 direct jobs. Bryce Carpenter is with Connexus Indiana.
Indiana is fortunate to have a very diverse automotive ecosystem, both domestic and foreign, that makes it very well suited for instances like we're in with economic uncertainty.
Connexus's recent Future Ready report says automotive is 20% of Indiana's total manufacturing gross domestic product. Warsaw-based Indiana Coated Fabrics, a maker of custom PVC and urethane-coated fabric products, has been acquired by Alabama-based Pfeiffer. Financial terms of the deal are not being disclosed. However, Pfeiffer said in a news release that ICF's Warsaw operations will continue as normal. Officials in Evansville broke ground this week on a $13 million mixed-use development that is receiving assistance from the state's Regional Economic Acceleration and Development Initiative. The Franklin Street Lofts project is an adaptive reuse of the historic Hercules Plow Factory, transforming it into 56 market-rate apartments. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Indiana's economy is on the move, and every region has a role to play. Join IBJ Media and Inside Indiana Business for the Innovate Indiana series, presented by Indiana University and Old National Bank. We're traveling to 10 regions across the state to spotlight business growth, workforce development, innovation, and Indiana's tech hubs. Don't miss this front-row look at Indiana's future and the growth opportunities in your region. Find out when we'll be in your area at ibj.com/innovate.
The White River State Park Development Commission has returned a $30 million grant that had been meant to cover the overhaul of the now demolished Crane Bay structure at the former General Motors stamping plant site in downtown Indianapolis.
The commission returned the money to Lilly Endowment, Inc. on October 1st, following a formal request from Foundation CEO Clay Robbins. Awarded in 2024, the grant was earmarked for the Crane Bay portion of the state park's planned $65 million expansion, and at the time had been expected to cover most of those costs. The Crane Bay was expected to become an events pavilion that could host farmers markets, weddings, corporate gatherings, and other activities, but the Crane Bay was demolished in early September, shortly after Elanco Animal Health bought much of the stamping plant property from the state. The entire structure was torn down, and the site was mostly cleared within 3 weeks. In a letter dated September 19th, Robbins said that given the destruction of the Crane Bay facility, the project described in the Commission's grant proposal can no longer be accomplished. Terry Seitz, the executive director of the Development Commission, wrote in a letter dated October 2nd that he hopes to work with the endowment in the future, including as part of the park's first strategic plan that's expected to launch next year. Seitz declined to offer any additional comment on the matter, and he did not respond to a question directly asking whether any portion of the grant had already been spent. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Hobart's Patriot Park was not selected as the site for the new Lake County Convention Center, but a developer in Northwest Indiana is looking to bring another major project to the property. Our partners at the Times of Northwest Indiana report developer Al Krieger is looking to build a $500 million mixed-use development on a 213-acre site. Mayor Josh Huddleston says the project, if it moves forward, would be anchored by an outdoor sports complex the city is looking to develop as well. It would also include apartments, retail, and office space. Authentics founder Amy Brown is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
Off the Record with Indiana's 250 most influential business and community leaders is a podcast that peels back the curtain on Indiana's most respected leaders, one episode at a time. Go beyond the headlines and hear the stories of grit and innovation that shape these leaders. Do you want to know who's driving our state forward? This is a must listen. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts or at ibjpodcast.com.
Want to give your team a real edge? The IBJ Group Plan delivers unlimited access to every story, every report, every video from IBJ and Inside Indiana Business for your whole team. Cover some or all of your employees with one simple payment. The more you add, the more you save. It's smart, it's flexible, and it saves you up to 30% off the standard rate. Already have IBJ subscribers in your office? Group up and save big. Learn more and get started now at ibj.com/group-plan.